Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome. And welcome back, KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the stock and crypto markets, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass and the tax software I use. And if you're interested in a partial masterclass scholarship, the link is in the description of this video. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 1.06% to 19,123. Ethereum is up 2.23% to 1321. Crypto technical analysts use smart money concepts and principles. The first thing we do is to mark up our charts with the CTKS method. Then we look beyond the charts that we're actually trading to all the other charts that impact that specific chart. Then we zoom back into the crypto market, finding the market's focus. But before we buy or sell, we must master emotional control. To do this, we use three-dimensional thinking. We know that we control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. So we therefore have a strategy. What are we going to do if price moves against us, goes nowhere, or goes for us? And we think about the going for us last, not first. We've seen global markets just sell down recently. Looking at global markets, there's been tremendous weakness across all stock markets recently. The mainstream media is talking about a substantial decline in price as we're getting a degree of correlation between the GFC price momentum from this previous high. And when we look at the ACWI, the All Country World Index, we can see that we've just been plummeting down. But of course, all price moves in a wave. It doesn't go just straight down, it waves. And it doesn't go straight up, it waves as well. And there are currently 2.98% of the S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average. You can see that this is a very, very low number. And you can see that there's been 3 times over history, one in around the middle of... As a community, we abide by many smart money rules. One is Rule 252, prepared, not scared. As smart money, we look to probabilities and we realize there's no certainty inside financial markets, but there are probabilities, and probabilities is what we can use. So how do we stack probabilities? If we go back to the chart, the S&P 500 stocks and the percentage above their 50-day moving average, the last time this actually occurred was on the 16th of June 2022 when we reached this very oversold level. When we hit that level, we actually bottomed. In fact, went a little bit further and passed through that level, but that level was the actual bottom. And when we go back to the 9th of March 2020, within 24 days, and this is the COVID-19 sell-off, within 24 days of hitting this exact level, we had bottomed out. And if we go back to the 21st of December 2018, within 3 days, we hit the bottom after actually recording this same statistic. And going back to the 5th of August 2011, in 10 days after hitting this oversold level, we actually reached the bottom. Now, many people may just cherry pick data, but we don't do that. We need to look at all of the data. When we scroll back to the 29th of September 2008 during the GFC, we saw that we actually hit that level. It took 161 days to find the bottom. But there was a lot of choppiness in this period, a lot of good borsogging and trading opportunities. With CTKS and being a crypto technical analyst, we don't have stories, just data. Not having a story gives you flexibility. For example, we've seen many times that we were within firing range of the bottom, but except for the GFC. And in some cases, we were actually at the bottom. Please let me know in the comments, do you think we're close to the bottom, or do you think we're going to go full GFC? This is precisely why we do our BORSOG code each and every day. Every time you do your BORSOG code, you'll get better and better at reading the market. And because your BORSOG code resets every day, it means that you can be ready for many opportunities each and every day. The market will never know you, but the market respects and rewards knowledge and active learning. The BORSOG code isn't about being right. That's a Zone 1, Zone 2 thinking methodology. It's about getting into synchronization with the market. The market will reward your active learning and your application of knowledge and emotional control. The September and October effects are in process, and we know from past midterm election years that September-October have been quite negative, but towards the end of the year it's been quite positive. And around FOMC meetings, the markets can get quite turbulent. At the next FOMC meeting, which is in about 37 days, we're expecting a 75 basis point increase, around a 67.5% probability. A lot of people are pointing to the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, and the Bank of England and the European banks and the global banks raising interest rates as the reason for the market sell-off. It's, of course, part of it, but it's not all of it. We can see that the 5-year break-even inflation rate and the 10-year is coming down, and the 5-year forward inflation expectation rate is also coming down. We can see that the Fed's balance sheet is in fact decreasing. We've got a slight uptick in the CPI, but not the latest figures yet. And the M1, M2 money stock figures, they're not out yet either. When we look at the federal funds rate prediction for April of 2023, we can see that it's spiked up initially and has come down. It's currently at 4.62%, and we can note that the US government yields have all spiked up as the Nasdaq and Bitcoin came down. But you'll notice the technical structure in Bitcoin is much healthier than the Nasdaq or the main indices. As Bitcoin is the most volatile asset class on the planet, when you see the Nasdaq breaking down, losing this support, you would expect Bitcoin to be just plummeting. It's not. Why do you think that is? This is all part of your active learning. And when we look at the main markets in the past session, we saw the VIX come up, the fear gauge of the market come up, and that drove prices down. We saw bond prices pretty much collapse, bond yields just explode as the dollar exploded, and of course that hit gold. And we're seeing oil prices come down as well on basically recessionary fears. And when we look at junk bonds, they're actually getting brutalized at the moment. As the different components of the DXY depreciate against the US dollar, they're forcing the DXY up, and it's going on an absolute rampage. But please be aware, technically, and when we look at the Stanfield levels, we can see an enormous amount of resistance between 115.504 and 116 to, say, 353. This actually means that the dollar may rampage on a little further, but it's going to get into some very solid technical resistance. And when we look at the Nasdaq indices, we can see, for example, this almost perfect inverse relationship playing out between the major stock market indices and the US dollar. You can probably see it a little bit better if I invert the chart. But as we look at Bitcoin, we see a different dynamic at play. Masterclass students using the EC method, you can probably see a change in trend already. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we talk about probabilities. For example, if the DXY continues to rally up on the US increasing interest rates, but also on all the problems caused with the Russia-Ukraine war, there's many geopolitical problems out there at the moment, especially to do with energy, fueling the inflation problems, especially throughout Europe. If the dollar continues to go higher and higher, it's going to strike all of this resistance between 115 and 116. That's going to substantially slow it down and also potentially reverse it. If we see a reversal, we would expect the markets to absolutely rally. You can see that if you just looked at a chart like Bitcoin and you were trying to understand where Bitcoin could go without looking at all of these other charts, you would actually literally be lost. That's why in the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, I take you through all the fundamental building blocks that you need to know. And it's all about knowledge transfer. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are all about hope and praying. We don't do that as professionals. Smart money doesn't hope. Smart money runs the numbers. And the markets are literally quite dangerous at the moment. We're literally smack bang on the Armageddon line. And if we lose the Armageddon line support, as we've seen in the past, we could get a rather nasty sell down. But it doesn't mean we can't have fun and BORSOG in between. If we look and scale down and look at the Armageddon line and the price volatility around that line, we can see that we're making a series of higher lows at the moment. This is a positive change in trend, but we can't read too much into it. We have to be very fast when it comes to our trades at the present time. One thing we need to understand as investors and traders, and we all know that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. The very big advantage of being a trader is that you can get in and out of markets. Being an investor is a little bit like the Hotel California song from the Eagles. You can check in anytime you want, but you can never leave. When we look at the Stanfield levels or the SLs for Bitcoin, we can see support at 18,310 and a variety of different support levels, 18,150, 17,985 and 17,925. Then we have a bit of a dip down to 16,791. There's light support around the 15,690 mark to the 15,907 mark. Not much support at 14.5. Then we start to get a bit of support at 13,883. And you can see the levels are starting to accumulate in terms of support levels. And there's a lot of support around the 10,800 mark. These particular SLs are smart money levels. This is where smart money buys and sells. And if you look up towards the resistance levels, we have one at 19,985, one at 20,343, another one 20,840, a much stronger one at 22,081, and the current price of Bitcoin is 19,148. Let's formulate together a bit of a negative strategy. If the DXY just rallies and it pushes up to 115 or perhaps 116 and gets caught in this trap of overhead resistance and then starts to get weaker and weaker and then starts to sell back, how could that look for Bitcoin? And of course, as Bitcoin goes, the markets are actually in tight correlation. If we think about the next strong level of support at 16,791, if the dollar rallies, Bitcoin would pass through potentially, probabilistically, these support levels from 18,310 to 17,925, perhaps consolidate around this particular 16,791 level. It could come lower, absolutely, to touch potentially this support at around 15,907. But if the dollar rallies up very strongly, it's going to pull all of the markets and Bitcoin down with it. So if we actually have this potential probability playing out in our minds, it's something that we can look at. We could also think, if we don't maintain this 16791 mark and the dollar absolutely goes parabolic and rallies up to that resistance, we may have about a 17% drawdown. So this is one thing to keep in mind. Now let's think about the DXY just going up a little and then potentially selling off. So what we could see is that we may come down about 5% under that second best scenario. What about if the DXY just starts to sell down now? We could expect a bit of a price movement up to around the 19,985 level. And if we got a wholesale reduction in the DXY, potentially coming up to 22,081 would be on the cards. That's about a 15.36% increase on where price is currently. This is how you should think about doing your against, neutral, or nowhere and for strategy, your BORSOG ANF strategy. And over time, whatever happens, you'll be aware of it, but you'll be planning for the other three eventualities simultaneously. And that's what we do as smart money. We don't get locked into one particular story, we consider all of them. Another way to stack probabilities is to just have a look at the longs and the shorts. The shorts did in fact spike up and that pushed price down. But then the longs came in and said, haha, suckers, we're going to liquidate you. And they really did. The longs came in and liquidated the shorts. Poor old shorts. But something to keep in mind, the more the longs pile in, the more the shorts can liquidate as well. The longs and the shorts are always taking turns to liquidate each other. And looking at liquidations across the past 24 hours, there's been 80.3 million worth of liquidations across 42,165 positions. And in the past 24 hours, about 51% of total liquidations have been short. Across the past 12 hours, about 52% short. The past 4 hours, nearly 60% short. And the past hour, around 67% short. So you can see the number of short liquidations, the velocity is increasing on that. And that, of course, is driving the price up because the shorts need to cover. It's critical to look at Bitcoin because your beloved alt cannot escape Bitcoin's gravity. And over the last 24 hours, total crypto market cap has increased 1.19% to $936 billion. The greatest gainers over the past 24 hours, Lunacy up 56.43%, Luna up 24.96%, Terra Classic USD, the not so stable stablecoin, up nearly 17%. Just something to be aware of, Interpol has issued a red notice for Do Kwon. Do Kwon maintains he's not on the run, but his location is unknown. So what is a red notice? A red notice is a request to law enforcement worldwide to locate and provisionally arrest a person pending extradition, surrender, or similar legal action. It's an international wanted persons notice. Do Kwon was made aware of problems with the protocol in Luna and Terra USD, and he basically said, come on guys, go for it. What was the result? A collapse of Terra Luna and Terra USD, which was USDT, and it cost investors $40 billion. But the cascading effect of Luna and USD's crash is being compared to the global financial crisis of 2008. The nosedive of Luna and USD wiped out more than $830 billion off the crypto sector's total market value. Personally, I've seen many people trade Lunacy, Luna, USTC, but I wouldn't touch any of them. But that's just personally. You can do whatever you feel is best for you. IOTA is up nearly 13%, BSV 6.41% up, Polkadot nearly 5.7% up, and ICP nearly 5% up. The greatest losers over the past 24 hours: Algo down 6%, XRP a little over 5% down, Reserve Rights RSR a little over 4%, Ape about 3.5%, Stellar nearly the same, and Sand down 1.6%, as is Atom. Looking into the top crypto projects, we can see Ethereum just under Bitcoin's gravitational pull at the moment, BNB above but moving in directional correlation, ADA looking weak and coming back to consolidate around where Bitcoin is in terms of its directional momentum, XRP looking really good. The potential favorable action of the court case being resolved in Ripple's favor is very, very positive for XRP. This will cause a cascading of listings across exchanges. The Coinbase effect probably times 10. Solana is looking really strong. Doge has recovered from its spike and looks to be basing at the moment. DOT starting to show a bit of strength in relationship to Bitcoin's gravity. About time, DOT, well done. And Matic just coming into alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Crypto technical analysis is a profession that focuses on positive excellence. As you saw with Do Kwon and what he didn't act with the level of care and trust that was entrusted to him, and so now he's on the run, red noticed and all. Doing the wrong thing always has consequences. That's why it's important to act with integrity and decency. Integrity and decency have fallen off the radar in recent years, but they're incredibly important if you wish to keep your success. For example, if you are subject to tax in the crypto space and you seek to avoid it, the taxing authorities will come after you. And paying taxes just means that you've been successful in what you've done. And it's important to understand that tax authorities can subpoena and summon your crypto records. And such summons have previously been issued on companies like Kraken and Circle. It's really important to do your taxes properly. And I found what I believe to be the best tax software. That's in a link in the description of this video. And that's why I talk about it all the time. You really need to do the right thing or the wrong thing will happen to you. And to understand that the US IRS can issue a summons to banks serving crypto broker SFOX customers in search of tax evaders. SFOX partners with institutions to scale performance. In crypto, there really is no place to hide, so don't bother hiding in the first place. These legal changes may not seem like much, but they are actually quite large. Part of success is paying your own way. I suggest that anybody in crypto take their taxes very, very seriously. And you'll find that all governments globally are committed to using all of the tools at their disposal to identify taxpayers who have understated their tax liabilities. And when we focus on positive excellence, the integrity and decency box just up here in the top left, that actually saves us from any tax headaches just in the first place, because we're happy to pay taxes, because it's a sign that we've moved forward. It's true, the governments can be very wasteful, but they also do good work. And if we think about being generous and being selfless, this can be another way to help people say that taxes are not so bad. And the inner peace and outer peace, by not getting into trouble and not getting hauled up in front of the courts, that's pretty good as well. In yesterday's video, Wabi Sabi said, emotions are important, you need to feel them. However, you do not want to be controlled by them, by emotions. When people are controlled by their emotions, they act impulsively. Many feelings of emotions are to do with survival instincts. Wabi Sabi said, I find the best way is to not give in to my emotional reactions, just sit with them instead. Be conscious of the feeling. Allow it to wash over you. Feel it in body and mind. And watch it pass over you. Step back from the imperative feeling or impulse of the emotion. And I raise this about taxes because very, very few people want to pay taxes. In fact, there's a percentage of the population that feels that taxes are illegal by nature. And in the crypto space, crypto doesn't like government intervention. It wants a free market. But the truth is, we do have to pay taxes, whether we agree with them or not. And the government is going to come in and regulate crypto. Again, if we agree or not, doesn't matter. It's going to happen. All we can do is actually band together as a community, as a global family, and do something about it, so that whatever regulations pass, they're not completely stupid. And I say that because governments are likely to act and react from a protectionism stance. They want to protect established industries rather than embrace new ones. In Zones 1 and Zones 2, people try to avoid paying taxes. In Zones 3 and Zone 4, we willingly pay taxes because that makes us sleep better at night. You don't want an audit if you can avoid it, and if you get one, you want to pass with flying colors. So what are ways that we could move from Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3 and Zone 4? Jade had some ideas. Exercise, eat healthy food, get good sleep, take accountability for the things you do and say. Practice honesty, of course, with kindness. Only speak kindly to others and of others. Practice gratitude. Practice giving. Meditate. Take time for rest. Keep your finances in order. As Art always says, head to the mountains or to the beach. Keep alcohol and other intoxicants to a minimum or none at all. Avoid deceit. Commit to your family, kids, and significant other. All of these things create balance in your life and can lead to fulfillment and happiness. When you have put in the work and learning, you will be calm in the markets. Having your life in order while trading is very important. Well done, Jade. Absolutely superb. And Kachuria shared a quote from Miyamoto Musashi, who said, "Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie." Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584 and died in 1645. He was undefeated in 61 duels and became renowned through his stories of unique double-bladed swordsmanship. He was considered a kensei, a sword saint of Japan. And Rajat said, the way to move from Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3 and Zone 4 is by taking the responsibility to learn. Well done. One fantastic thing that we could talk about in the comments today is how do people control their emotions when the markets do things like this? They just crash and everybody is leaving the dance floor. That's a very, very difficult thing for people to do, to control their emotional state as price is falling. But it's one of the things that professionals always need to do, because when the dance floor, when the market becomes clear of retail investors, that's when smart money is called into the market to start boosting prices. Just at the time where everybody is pessimistic, smart money is buying. Please keep this in mind. I'll be reaching out to notify the Purpuratum CTKS Masterclass Scholarship awardee this week. That's a partial Masterclass scholarship. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. And if you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do each and every day, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram. Thank you also to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global KS family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto and stock markets 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.